going up, everybody? It's Chini the Great, and this is Right With Me Wednesday. And today is Wednesday, and I have 3 days off in a row. 3 days off of work in a row. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with my life. But yeah, I just posted the last Right With Me Wednesday, and I thought I would take you guys along for these 3 days and show you everything I do that involves writing. And I always tell you guys that to be a writer, there's much more involved than just typing on a page. So that's kind of what I want to show you guys. And so all I've done today is edit and post that video and get a couple errands done. But I mentioned before that I started my business and I want to start advertising. And I'm definitely going to start that tomorrow because I have a typewriter, which is right here. Yeah. And I actually made some bookmarks on that and then used a stamp to create a logo to stamp on it. So here's the bookmark. I know it's pretty simple. It's just like typewriter letters here and then the typewriter there. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I'm all about just doing like little creative things like that to help yourself out. And I could have ordered bookmarks if I wanted to. In fact, I have some business cards here that I ordered that I didn't make myself. But I don't know. It's just something that's a lot cooler about making stuff yourself and getting kind of creative and inventive and not having to depend on someone else to like pay someone else to do something for you. I'm all about like figuring out how to do something yourself. So I'm messing with this. This is my business card here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, little typewriter there in the corner, and then just my information. And I have a bunch of those to go put out and those bookmarks I just made. I'm just gonna set that there. So I just went through and stamped all those bookmarks because I just got the stamp, and it took me forever so I ordered the stamp. I searched everywhere for like a small typewriter stamp, and that one's actually a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. But I looked everywhere for it and finally found one at a Hobby Lobby online. So I ordered that, but I didn't even think about ordering the ink. So that stamp came in today, and I was like, oh yeah, like rip it open. I'm like, fuck, I have no ink. So I went to Walmart thinking like they'll probably have like a little pad of black ink, but they didn't. And the only other store that would have that is a craft store, which is like 30 minutes away from where I live. And it's actually really close to where I work. So on my days off, I'm like super excited that I don't have to drive all the way down there because it's a long drive every day. So I was thinking like, man, now I am gonna have to drive all the way out there for this ink, but instead of being bummed about it, I just did it and enjoyed the drive really because the weather out here right now is freaking awesome. Like it feels like summer. It's so warm and just sunny and pleasant. And I just drove with the sunroof down the whole time and just blasted music and just enjoyed the drive really and just enjoyed, the position I'm at in my life where I get to do these things. The next thing I'm going to do that has to involve writing is redoing that catalog that I mentioned before. I have this book here of like all these magazines to submit stories to, poetry and stories and anything really. But it's a big ass fucking book. Like, look how big this book is, man. Like, that's a big book. So I don't need all those. And so what I went through and did is I went through and picked out all the ones that like fit my writing the best and put them in alphabetical order on this Excel spreadsheet and made this cool catalog where I could just write a story, go through there, pick one out that looked good for that story, submit it, and it was done. But I lost the document and I was pissed about it, but I mean now I can just make it again. So I'm remaking it. That's what all those pink sticky notes are there for, but now I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. So that's one good thing about losing that is now I get to make it even better. So I have a long way to go on that because it just takes a lot of work. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the spreadsheet now.
Alright guys, so sorry about the audio. I know it's probably gonna sound a lot different than the clip just before this, but this is what I'm working on. This is the catalog. So like I said, I have it divided between fiction, and then I'm gonna put that's what I'm working on right now is fiction, and it's gonna take me a long time. Like it's gonna keep going. And then after that, I'm gonna have nonfiction and poetry. And if I feel like I want to add more, I can add more later. I'm also color coding it, so these lines are alternating colors to make it easier to read. And have it divided by pay, so the ones that pay the most are up here, the ones that pay the least are going to be down here. I also have their reading period because some places don't accept submissions during certain times. And the way I have it now, since I'm separating it between fiction and poetry and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot more spread out. So before, I would put this right here, like let's say the Paris Review. I would have the pay divided between, if they accepted poetry, fiction, and nonfiction, I would have the pay fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and then over here I would say fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. So it would all be squished together, and I wouldn't really know which one is the best, you know what I mean? So now, when I do my poetry, if this one accepts poetry, then it's also going to be in the poetry section. So it might show up like 3 or 4 times on this chart, but this will work better for me because if I write, let's say I write a nonfiction piece, well, I know I don't have to look at any of these. I'll go to the nonfiction section, and then I'll say, okay, this one pays the most, and then in the description part, I'll be like, this is what they're looking for. They don't want this kind of nonfiction, or they do. So this is going to tell me a little bit more refined, like what kind of fiction they accept or what kind of poetry and things like that. And something new I've added too is this right here, this column, which is the frequency, how many times a year they come out with a new issue. And I think that's useful to know because one that prints 4 times a year it's more likely that they'll accept me, or it's more likely that I'll get published than someone that prints twice a year because they use twice as many submissions. And I know, of course, like it depends how many people submit and what they're looking for and stuff like that. But I thought this would be useful because if one only prints once a year, you know, it's not a waste of time, but it's almost a waste of time to submit to them as opposed to one that prints 4 times a year. And then, of course, I have their website because before I submit to any of them, I have to know exactly what they want to read. And going to their website and checking out their previous issues shows me a little bit about what to submit. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on this. And this is going to take me a really long time. I'm definitely not going to be done with it today. But I'm just going to keep working on it, and I'll see you guys in a minute.
So, it is the second day in this little 3-day adventure of ours. And all I did after I stopped recording yesterday was just work on that catalog. Just adding magazines to the list, and I just grinded on that for a few hours. It's going to take forever. I'm still, like, hardly through any of it. I still have tons to do. But that's all I worked on that was related to writing after I stopped recording, so I didn't want to bore you guys with that. And this morning, I got up and edited another chapter of my novel, and I showed you guys that in the last video, so I didn't think I needed to record that. But yesterday, I said I want to do some advertising for my business, so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to get my bookmarks and my business cards and go and set them out at places. So I want to go to my local library and put out the bookmarks, because that's a good place for bookmarks. And yeah, and then I'm going to go to a coffee shop and maybe put out the business cards, because both those places have like a little table of pamphlets and stuff, so hoping I could just set it down there and walk away. But yeah, by the way guys, this is going to be a fairly long video and a lot of talking, so if you're not into that, then just click out. But yeah, just 3 days of me kind of showing you what I do when I'm not typing a novel. So I just showered, that's why I look like a mess, but I'm gonna go get my stuff together and I'll see you guys at the library. Also, this is my cat. Can you see her? Kiki. That's my best friend. Alright, I'll see you guys at the library. Okay guys, so I was gonna try to film that, like me putting it on the table, but I don't know, there was just a lot of people around, so it was kind of weird. But 2 things. One, went in there, set them down. So usually they have like a lot of pamphlets and stuff that's related to literature, but since it's tax season, all they had were like tax forms out and instructions and stuff on that table. So my thing definitely looks kind of like out of place there because it's not anything to do with taxes. But I also noticed when it looked professional though. Like when I sat that down and I like walked away, I'm like, that looks good. Like they looked good. I noticed when I was walking out in this little lobby area that they had a bunch of pamphlets and stuff like hung up on a wall. So maybe I could put mine there next time and it might be like less suspicious. Also, the second thing is that Tuesday, one of these Tuesdays, I think it's next week, they're having like a writers group for like critiques and stuff. So I actually have that day off. So they're starting like a writers group called the Brown Bag Writers Group, I think it's called, which is kind of funny because it makes me think of the Brown Bag special. But that'll be cool because I really want to do that. Like that would be so cool if I could do that. And I'm sorry I'm kind of like looking sketched out. There's like people like literally watching me film. But I think that'll be cool because I definitely want to do that. I'm kind of nervous though because you never know what to expect. I don't know if they're all going to be like old ladies or I don't know. I have a problem with people taking me seriously when I want to be taken seriously. So I'm kind of nervous. That always gives me a lot of anxiety. It's just because I look like I'm 12. But yeah. So anyways, I think that'll be cool. After I get past my fear, I think that's going to be super dope. And it's going to meet every single month. So that'd be crazy cool. Because it's definitely a great, a great way to get critiques on my writing now that I'm out of school and I'm not taking those classes anymore. So that'll be cool. Alright, so I'm going to go to put out my business cards here. I'm going to go put these business cards out. That's actually a long drive. I have to drive back all the way to where I go to work. And I said earlier that that's a pain in the ass, but it is. And I have to go back again today. But if it means advertising, then I'm down with it. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, someone at one of these places will get my business card or the bookmark with my information on it and, like, contact me and tell me to stop leaving my business cards there. Or someone I know sees it and, like, hits me up or something. That'd be weird. But anyways, I'm gonna go do that. Did it. Okay guys, so it is later on that same night, Tuesday night. No wait, today's Thursday. Today's definitely Thursday. It's later on. So the last clip you saw was probably me in the car. And I haven't really, the only thing I've done that had to do with writing since then is work on that Excel spreadsheet that I've been working on forever now. And I told you guys that I was going to have to write another story because somehow it got deleted when I switched laptops. I never write stuff down on paper, like write stories down on paper, but for some reason I did with this story, and I don't even know why because I was sitting right next to my laptop. But I'm so glad I did because this is one of my favorite stories I've ever written. It's very like, I don't know, like Jack Kerouac. I was reading Jack Kerouac at the time. I feel like I'm influenced by people that I'm reading at the time, but with my own style. I'm not trying to copy anyone. But this is actually a story that actually happened to me. So everything in here is true. But I kind of wrote it in a Kerouac-esque way. Like a narrative that's very kind of, not like the language I would use in real life. Very kind of adventurous, I guess. And mischievous and, I don't know, kind of that, if you know Jack Kerouac, it's kind of in that same style. So I'm going to type this up, and after that, probably just maybe work on that catalog again. I've finished all the fiction ones, so now I'm going to move on to nonfiction, but first I'm going to write this up, so let's get to it. Hey guys, so it is the third day, my third day off, so it's my last day off before I have to go to work tomorrow. So, I just woke up and edited a little bit. It is 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock. So, I did that. I'm probably gonna work on this Excel spreadsheet a little bit more, but of course you guys have already seen that, so I'm not gonna show that again. So, other than that, I think I'm gonna relax today. I've been going out and about these last 2 days, and it's cold and kind of rainy outside, so I just want to stay in and work on stuff here. I have a lot of like YouTube oriented stuff to work on. I have a video coming out Saturday, which is tomorrow, so I have to work on that. I don't think I'm gonna do a whole lot of writing stuff today, other than what I've done and what I'm not gonna show you because I've already showed you. So I think I'm gonna end the video here. I know it's the beginning of the third day and I said I was gonna make this like the 3 day long thing, but I've already showed you everything I'm gonna be working on, so there's no point in showing you again. But it's been a good 3 days. I accomplished a lot. I've edited like 3 chapters. I um, finished making my bookmarks and I finally advertised for my business. So that's pretty cool. And I wrote that story too. So, a lot of work has gotten done and I'm just going to keep working on this. Yeah, that Excel spreadsheet's going to take me forever. And I really have to get it done so that when I do write stories, I could submit them right away and I have to sit on them for a while. But that's taken up a lot of my time. But I'm happy that I got so much work done and I'm really happy that I had these days off to go ahead and work on, my career and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just feel really lucky for the place I'm in my life. And I know it's like, at first I was kind of bummed out that I'm 23 with a college degree in mathematics and I'm working retail and living with my mom. But this allows me to just focus on, yeah, I mean, I have to get a job that I don't really want to work, but I still have so much time to focus on my career and planning it out. I don't have to think about bills or an apartment or anything like that. And that gives me more time to think about my business and my future and my writing and all that good stuff. And I'm really happy to be doing that. And I'm happy that I have a mom that lets me stay with her. And yeah. So I don't know. Just be thankful for the little things in life when you feel like things aren't going right. Just look at the bright side. We're so lucky. If you're watching YouTube right now and you're probably in a position where you at least have shelter and some food, so that's awesome to look forward to and to be thankful for. So just be thankful for the little things. I'm gonna stop rambling, and I hope you guys are getting some work done and moving towards your goals. So stay motivated. Oh, hold up. Thanks for watching. All right, stay motivated, stay inspired, and stay happy. See you guys.